They have 2 Koreans, Blank and Profit, which means 3 people will do most of the communication. And if Memento and the bot lane don't get rolling, I think their communication is really suffering. And the games they win, their bot lane and their jungler are playing really well. So I think they're really easy to beat.
Welcome back to the LCS and the race for playoffs, where Gilius and Vitality continue their fight for a quarterfinal bye tonight against Roccat. Just as an update, Fnatic and Splyce have now both locked playoffs, and Vitality could be very close. And I want to talk about the evolution of Vitality over the split. Started off fantastic, had a bit of a dip in the middle of the split, but now they have won the last 3 out of their 4 games, and they look to be back. They feel like the Vitality from the beginning of the split.
That's what they feel like to me. When you look at how they've been playing, they feel like very early game focused. They feel like they're getting early leads, and they're transitioning into, for the most part, very clean games. And it feels very much like Vitality seem to be on a return to form from what we saw earlier in the split.
And just in time, it means that they're not only in the running for securing playoffs, which looks very likely, but also for possibly securing that 2nd place spot, which is open between them, between G2 and between Splyce. So a lot is going to come down to this matchup. Have to win it for both squads. Vitality is up against Roccat, and we want to look at some pivotal matchups, and we want to start in the jungle. We cannot not talk about Gilius, and he's up versus Memento in this matchup versus Roccat.
Yeah, they have been stepping up big time, mainly Gilius. He's been performing well. We've heard from him that he is the leader of the team. He knows what he has to do, but there's still some issues, and that issues are around Byron. And, you know, there's this thing called using a smite. Maybe you should try it.
Yeah, and the last time these two met, it was kind of Memento that started a lot of this, because, I mean, Gilius has lost a lot of smite battles. And can you criticize Gilius? Can you criticize the team? Very much up for debate. But what's really important is the fact that Memento was the guy last time that was stealing so many of those objectives away. And we look back at last week's performance from Memento, and he was one of the key individuals that set up this team for success in the early game.
And that has to keep going, because Roccat, if they want to make playoffs, every game is a must-win game for them. So he'll have to outsmite this guy once again. Another matchup that I have my eye on is in the bottom lane. Mini Trupax has been stepping up recently for Vitality and is up versus HQ Freeze. What do you make of that matchup?
Well, we've heard from Gilius in the interview that once the bot lane doesn't play well, they start to crumble with the pressure and the shot call, and I have to agree with that. And then when you look at these 2 AD carries, I was a little worried for yesterday's Mini Trupax games, where there were 7 or 6 AD carry bans. I was like, what is he gonna play? And then he didn't care. He's like, I'm Mini Trupax, listen, pick me anything, I will win on anything. Then he picked Jinx, and he started playing so well, carried the game. So then, looking at the HQ, I see a problem there. I'm a little scared for Rocket's bot lane, because HQ has been known for having a champion pool issue, and you know, he plays Caitlyn super well. If he gets Caitlyn, he's rolling. Then they will win through bot lane, through jungle, with the communication coming from Nurse Karen. But if he doesn't get Caitlyn, there's a problem. And Mini Trupax already has shown that he doesn't need champions. He can play anything.
I think for me, one of the big things that I've been a big advocate of with regards to Roccat is that their carries have, over the at least last week, looked rather solid, even in their deficits. Like Blanc and Hiku were 2 individuals that stepped up. But yesterday, we did see kind of Hiku shut down pretty decisively by both Hylissang and Reckless.
The sniper.
And exactly that, right? And it's one of those concerns that you have where if this bottom lane falls short, does the entire team collapse? I personally think that they, as a team, can develop more. Do I think that they'll be able to do it today? Actually, I kind of do.
But do you think that they will fall to Mini Trupax and Jack Troll the same way they did to Hylissang and Reckless, who, if we're honest, are playing very near perfect recently?
So I personally don't, because I think that the Vitality roster still has a bit of an ego. Even though they went on a 3, I believe, game losing streak, and they were kind of down in the dumps, and their record started to receive a pretty significant blemish, they still have this sense of, we are better than you and we need to keep playing better than you. And their eyes are actually on next week's games, where they're looking at people like Splyce, like G2, to secure themselves that 2nd place spot. I think they're going to overlook Roccat, and this, to me, is a team that you can't afford to overlook.
Well, then we look at Roccat, then they should also take advantage of this moment if that is the case, because Roccat, in that race for playoffs, they can get a lead over H2K and join Misfits and Giants in 5th place. And 5th place is, I think, already a success for where they can be at right now. right now, but if you hear the likes of who is around them then, Misfits and Giants, it seems doable for Roccat. So where's the initiative going to come from? In the season, Memento has stepped up, sometimes together with Blanc. HiQ has had some good moments. Prophet has also been there. But if we had to pick someone for this lane, for this game rather, who would it be, Freeze?
For me, it would be HiQ, but mainly I wouldn't really pick one player. I would pick the entire squad. They have to start playing team fights more together. We see how they're split all the time, and we heard from Gilius that they have 2 currents. There might be some issues in communications, and I need to see all the 5 players step up and play together as a team and as a unit.
So much on the line. Let's see if Roccat can pull off a win in their race for playoffs as we send it to the casters for picks and bans.
Thank you, Shocks. Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel Dracos, joined by Martin DeFischer-Lunga.
What a glorious intro.
What's as glorious as it ever is, my friend.
Beautiful beard again.
Thank you.
I like it. I wish I could get one.
Yeah, I'm glad you can't. It's the only thing that makes me unique. But before we get into Champions Select, let's check out the lineup.
That's very sad.
Yeah, a little self-deprecating humor to start today. We'll kick off on the blue side with Roccat. We're going to hope that there's no self-deprecating action on their side today. Prophet, a guy I want to watch, DeFiscio, and the reason why is he hasn't played Sion yet. We exist in the tank meta. This man, not about that life. He says, I'm playing Gnar anyway. This is my champion to go to. I want to see how it works today.
Well, and yesterday, he didn't know how Gnar looked, and he had to pick Ornn for himself. So I guess he will play a tank if he needs to. Sadly for him, Sion was banned away as well. I'm sure he wants to play it, but yes, I think it's kind of hurt Roccat a little bit that he can't just play Gnar every game, because it is actually how he looked the best.
Absolutely true. And of course, on the other side, we do have Team Vitality coming in hot. DeFiscio getting back to their roots of playing around the mid lane,
they look
snowballing
badass.
Individual players. Look at that head tilt from Jizuke. That's what you need. Just
look at that suit from Yamato Cannon.
Oh my.
We look so bad compared to it.
Oh God. All right, we're gonna make sure we're never on camera again. We'll just, when we talk, we'll put Yamato's suit on camera. But luckily, it's time for picks and bans, folks. We're getting right into it. Cassio, interesting to be the first takeaway. Has been banned a lot, not picked up a whole ton here in EULCS.
Often sets up the potential Ryze first pick. Or you try and force the other team to ban the Ryze, and that is what happened. I like Tahm Kench ban. It's been the best pick for Vitality Jack Troll down the support role, so I think it's a very smart takeaway. Xayah coming in to remove the potential Xayah Rakan that we have seen a few times here in the EULCS on patch 8.4. Sion ban as well. That means Prophet does not get to play Sion as you wanted him to play. I think
wonder
actually
if this is like the self-team ban. They're like, Prophet, we know you really love Sion, but we really don't want you to play Sion.
So a lot of European teams do not seem to play Sion mid, which is why they don't leave it open on blue side and just first picks it, and you can actually just flex it into multiple roles. They just ban it away on blue side instead. Caitlyn has become one of the go-to AD carry picks, and some teams even value her as a potential first pick. Just overall great laning phase. Of course, you know, you have the late game insurance with her as well, and I like the traps around Baron.
Absolutely. A lot of teams struggle to play around him. We've seen even Memento fall to the traps in the past. Of course, Caitlyn, HiQ's most played pick, so it makes sense in terms of comfort now. But with Vitality taking their time on the second rotation, it will be the Sejuani coming in. A standard pick for Gilius, standard pick for everybody. And debating what to lock here. Maybe they try to match 80 carries. We saw a ton of attention towards mini true packs in the ban phase yesterday. A ton of attention.
And we have to remember, he plays Ashe against Caitlyn. We saw it once only, but I want to mention it anyway, just because it is something we've seen already from him. Varus, a little bit of the same in terms of actually being able to match the laning phase from Caitlyn, and then the Rage Blade Power Spike against Infinity Edge obviously goes in favor of the Varus, so it gives you a very strong mid game on the side of Vitality with this pick and ban phase. Now, Braum von Ascaran is typically a champion we have to highlight that he likes to grab if it is available, and it is a good thing you can lock down with Caitlyn for just a super safe bottom lane and just good overall team fighting and scaling.
Interesting, though, Azir is going to get locked in here. We'll see if the Braum does round it out to prove your prediction correct. But this has been a very standard carry duo that we've seen on this patch officio. Caitlyn Azir feels like it comes out pretty consistently. And Roccat debating on this final pick.
So I think with Skarner and Olaf open, they didn't really mind giving over Sejuani. There's enough super strong junglers available due to no jungle bans in this pick and ban phase here. I like Skarner overall. I think he's such a great pick. Just let's be real, due to flash ult in most of these fights, but also just a strong skirmish, good early clear. So I think this draft is perfectly fine on the side of Roccat, but of course it's a lot of like focus on Azir and of course Caitlyn as the two main carries.
And this is interesting. Vitality getting their hands on Camille. We've seen this champion banned very consistently in EU thus far, and not even giving it the flex pick opportunity, because we have seen it in jungle as well. Vitality are going to, or rather Roccat are going to know 100% that Camille is going to the top lane. Bit of an interesting choice here.
Well, that's fine, because if you are really scared of anything, which you typically are not really too afraid of any matchups as Camille, then you can just ban that away. So it's going to be a Shen ban in this case here. On the side of Vitality, Prophet, as we highlighted before, did play Ornn yesterday, so there are multiple tanks for him to take, but then Cabershot gets a bit of a free game on the Camille here. We haven't really seen a lot of top lanes in Europe try and challenge it. Be like, haha, here's my Fiora. I'm going to try and outmatch you.
People just don't want to take the risk, I think. And Camille's one of those champions that can split push, can offer some value in a team fight. Corki, interestingly, taken away. So while Vitality are setting up Cabo for success on the top side, you see Prophet setting up Blanc for success in the mid lane.
You know what else is left for Jizuke against the Azir? Echo.
And I was just going to talk about that, because one thing I do like about Vitality coming back on the win streak is I feel like they're setting up their individual superstars for success. And a lot of that is Jizuke.
Probably gonna get an Echo ban now from Roccat, unless they really want Jizuke to play it and then could try and shut it down. I think it would be safer just to remove it, as it was, shown yesterday. I think pretty well played as well.
And this is kind of the debate I think Roccat are stuck in. Do we ban away the personal comfort pick? Do we ban away something maybe more traditionally powerful in the meta? What are they really scared of?
Oh,
Thresh. Okay.
Fine, because but imagine, Camille one lane, Echo the other lane when it comes to split push, and Varus with great wave clear just sitting mid and holding that. Like, Vitality can build such a sick 1v1 comp.
And to be fair, Echo is going to be the lock-in. Well predicted, that is the counter to Azir. But we've also seen Jack Troll be so good on this Thresh in terms of roaming mid, combining his strength with Gilius to just snowball Jizuke. So it's kind of a terrifying pick to play against.
Also feels a little bit like they just want to protect the bottom lane on Roccat after they got destroyed yesterday by Hylissang on that Morgana. So they take away what could be a bit of a lane bully on the side of Jack Troll. Because this bot lane, they can't afford to fall behind like they did yesterday. They need Hikyu to do well in the laning phase. They need him to be strong going into the first few team fights. Because with Prophet always playing tanks now, it's all about Blank and Hikyu dealing the damage. And yesterday, that was completely shut down just in the laning phase. Braum is still here for Noscaron if he wants to play it. Showed us to Janna yesterday, of course, didn't work. And I guess they copy Fnatic's bot lane.
This is the classic. It beat me. It must be OP. I will lock it in. I want to see what Noscaron can do here. How are Vitality actually going to respond to this?
Noscaron could, Jack Troll could just grab his own range support and just counter the Morgana, like the Janna as one of the examples. That actually should be more than fine in lane against it. So, blind picking Morgana is not safe unless you are Hylissang, who can hit every binding.
But hold on. We haven't seen him yet, man. He has not played Morgana this season. He could hit every binding. Don't sell him out yet. Noscaron could be clutch on this champion.
It is also kind of weird that pro players on stage without any ping can get hit by max range bindings. Like, just out of nowhere. And it just feels like you should always be able to dodge that, but they randomly would just get hit by every binding thrown out.
What's that famous quote from former European professional player Jesper Svenningsson?
If you have a mouse, you can dodge a Nidalee spear.
In this case, probably, fatter hitbox, slower projectile speed. Feels kind of similar.
But, yeah, so Roccat were like, okay, we got stumped by this lane yesterday. Let's just grab it for ourselves, and we can do the same thing. Let's see if it works out for Hikyu and Noscaron. I still think it's a bit risky with the blind pick Morgana. I like the Janna answer from Jack Troll on the side of Vitality. Overall, their composition with Echo against Azir, which is what Jizuke wants. They got Cabershot and Camille, who of course can be a strong split pusher, and then they have a good 2v2 bot lane. I think it's a very solid draft for Vitality, where they have a lot of ways to get ahead in the game.
And it looks like we might be seeing a 1-3-1 setup against a classic team fight for Roccat. Want to see how it's going to unfold. Getting ready now to get in the game. A lot of unique picks coming in. The Morgana, the Echo, some European specials now. See Memento focus as the team gets ready to get in the game here. Gilius as well, looking over. He's got nothing. He can't smite steal me, he says. Psyching himself up, getting the team ready. Crowd ready, out in force. Flex up for Fnatic.
A fun fact, last game, VIT saw a French flag and assumed the entire group that was actually cheering for Niski were French. Turns out they're Norwegian. So,
nice.
Yeah, there we go.
Ooh. All right, Norwegian fan base coming in strong.
And for VIT, what's the difference? You know, almost the same, almost next to each other.
All right. Throw a little shade Vedius' way, but as Roccat into the stage,
he's gonna bind him.
They look for it. Jack Trolls is not how he wants to start the game. Gets the tornado in, wants to make it out. I don't think he can. The fail flash! Oh, baby, that's embarrassing. First blood for Roccat. And honestly, guys, a perfect way to start their 250th game in the LCS.
And that's why you blind pick Morgana. Because as we just said in Champ Select, on this stage, without any ping, pro players cannot dodge bindings.
Fun fact, at 0 ping, it's a point and click. You just click and it lands every time.
All right, can we get a replay and then slow-mo it when Jack Troll tries to flash over the wall?
You're so BM today. You're flaming Vedius. You're just throwing people under the bus left and right.
Come on, I mean...
Yeah, I agree. Let's do it.
If you get surprised by the level 1 Morgana and then get hit by everything and then flash into the wall, I think that deserves a replay.
The best part is Fnatic did the same thing yesterday.
So, he sees Noscarin, win-win. Now he sees him, does not dodge a full range binding. Then, let's see the slow-mo. Oh, there it is. Oh. So, everyone at home, when you do this, do not feel ashamed. It also can happen for pro players.
And it's... I mean, I feel that. And I love Noscarin here because Noscarin said, look, I hit the binding, I get the kill. Didn't want to give it to anybody else. Gets that last auto win, takes it away. So it's my ignite, it's my kill. And now Morgana has no more combat stats, but 2 control wards. That's a sign of dominance right there.
So, 1 for 1 on the bindings. Hylissang hit 5 in a row and then missed number 6, which is the golden rule of Morgana bindings. Meanwhile, Jizuke will keep doing this all game long. And every time he jumps in, Blank, all he can do is just put down a soldier and start trading. Memento,
oh, not going to connect. Memento still looks for the stun, though. They may find the follow-up. The trap is there. Are they going to get it? EQ. That's just dirty, baby. Chain in the CC.
Hey, that's why we showed that replay. He lost his flash, still died. What did Memento do? Buff, gank. And that's another kill now for Roccat. So far, Morgana picks very successful this week. And Noscarin with Roccat is starting off well. Another binding.
Gets the spell vamp, heals right back up. That's a sign of dominance. Deficio.
It's happening. Morgana is taking over the ULCS.
Morgana, baby. But I feel like we should take a moment. As Vitality's bot lane might be suffering, let's talk a little bit about the goals of these compositions. Because we talked briefly about 1-3-1, we talked briefly about teamfight, but what are we looking for in terms of action on both sides here?
Well, we know bottom lane, when you have this Caitlyn Morgana lane, you can play around it very aggressively. Especially if you push the enemy bot lane on the turret, you just shoot these bindings when they're trying to last hit, and you trap them after. It's a ton of poke damage on your side. It's tough otherwise for Roccat to find the lane to really play around, because mid lane, Jizuke, once he gets his ulti, we know he's just going to jump in, jump out every single time. And Memento won't get level 6 before Jizuke, so that makes it a little bit difficult to gank that lane. Oh, another binding.
Another one. Are you counting still?
He missed one, sadly, on the gank, so that kind of ruined the 5
streak.
So
he's missed 2 that we've seen. This is hard. I don't know how you did this yesterday.
No, because Hylissang hit 5 in a row, so it's really easy.
There you go.
Yeah, this guy didn't. Top lane as well, though. I think you can try and gank the Camille, especially with level 6 from Skarner, and there's enough damage from Ornn to kill him. But then you need to make sure Gillis is not there to counter gank. So most of it for Roccat is bottom side. That's where they can make some plays in just the 2v2 lane. Otherwise, you kind of have to accept that Jizuke and Caprishar can play pretty damn aggressive in these lanes. We saw this matchup yesterday.
Jizuke
diving in.
Wants to get in there, looking for a little bit more damage. Not going to find the third proc on the Z-Drive Resonance. Will back out, but everyone ready for a fight here. You saw Gilius and Memento posturing in the jungle looking for a fight as well. So action across the map.
And that's kind of, it's fun with the different matchups we have, because in the mid lane, Jizuke will, every time he can, jump forward, trade with Blank. Once they have level 6, Blank will instantly ult Jizuke back to try and get him into his turret and force Jizuke to early ulti out so he can't deal any damage to Blank. And you just get this trade of ultis like every single time. That's why jungler could be around. If Memento is there when Jizuke goes forward, waits for Jizuke to ult back, Memento could then flash ult onto him and try and secure the kill. But before that, it is tough. Meanwhile, bot lane, it's always that thing where Janna buffs up the Varus, so he starts winning trades against the Caitlyn. And Morgana can't really help because the Black Shield doesn't do that much to assist EQ. But of course, if Noscarin can hit a binding into a trap, then trade is won by Roccat.
Yeah, of course, right now it looks like Varus And Jan holding their own for now. Farm just about even. Caitlyn has the Doran shield early. Still defensive despite the range advantage. But
Binding.
he's looking for another one. He's up against the wall. Mini Trupax only has one way to dodge. He's going to have to use the flash.
And we get the glacial augment again for the Morgana. So Noscarin walks in, gets an auto attack off, applies a bit of a slow on to Mini Trupax, and then fires the binding. Trupax is next to the wall, so his only option is actually to flash. Can't juke it otherwise. Another gank from Memento that gave a bit of an advantage over to Rockat's side.
And anytime Deficio that the bottom lane is suffering like this, I feel like we always have to look back to mid lane, see what Jizuke is doing. We've already talked a little bit about the Azir Echo matchup, but Jizuke, when Vitality was suffering, Jizuke was suffering. But in recent weeks, he has been looking a lot better. They have been giving him that attention again. Has been an up and down season, but right now things do look good for him as an individual.
Yeah, the jump back in terms of the jungle proximity, almost to 20%. Been a big change. Gillis is around him again, and there's the ult back into turret, to him all the way. This it's gonna happen like 10 more times.
Yeah, we saw it so many times up against Exile. Looks like just a rinse and repeat now. Jizuke, it gets scarier and scarier for Blanc, though, because right now he's comfortable. He can extend the trades. Everything's fine. But once there's a Proto Belt, once there's a Lich Bane, it's a little harder to survive that initial burst.
The thing about Echo is he doesn't need to win early game because once you get out of the laning phase, he's one of the absolute best split pushers. Insane mobility, can all in very easily, and then he's so hard to actually gank and kill due to the fact that he has this ulti he can escape with. So he's a very effective split pusher, where Azir, of course, is not. And that's why you have highlighted earlier. Roccat is like group 5, siege on turrets, get advantage, then go to Baron, play around Baron as 5, and then just keep winning team fights and get objectives. Vitality is a lot more explosive all over the map, which could backfire. Because those comps, like the Vitality one, the 1-3 ones, they're typically a lot harder to execute.
Well, we see them so frequently relying on that lead, right? You need somebody to have kill pressure. And of course, Cabo and Jizuke, you expect them to have kill pressure against their lane opponents, but if they fall behind in the same way bottom lane kind of did on those early kills, it might not work out that well.
Exactly, and we have to follow how Jizuke plays team fights. He's one of the most aggressive Echoes I see in actual fights. A lot of big moments from the Challenger Series last year when he played this champion. Of course, how he used it to destroy Schalke as well. We're in late game fights where you think, okay, it's going to be tough for him to do anything. He still finds that one little play, one little stun onto the enemy AD carry or enemy mid lane, and he just one-shots him. Black Shield is here to try and prevent that from Noscarin's side, adding a bit more value in terms of Morgana. Jizuke is fairly low. His ulti is ready in just a few seconds, and he's going to be fine.
Could opt to go for the back, use the ulti to return to lane. Instead, just going to look for the pressure out, sees the Blanc backed, knows that he can push in the wave, get the free back himself.
So I agree he can do that. I like that less in this matchup where he wants to jump Azir all the time, so you don't actually want to put your ulti on cooldown. You also have TP, you can use that back to lane, and then keep this ult here, go aggressive against Blanc, get him low, you ulti out, so you get a ton of HP back, and then next time, Blanc has to be afraid, because you might be able to actually all in and kill him.
Yeah, and you can see the early resistances coming in as well, and that's a fast Echo in the laning phase. Has enough burst just based on base damages alone. Looking pretty comfortable, and Blanc still waiting on that first item spike, but Memento is on the bottom side of the map, is going to reveal himself as he picks up the shrine here. Achilles will know what's up. Blanc's on the way, though. Unfortunately, Jizuke forced to catch the mid lane wave, so he can't respond first.
And we talk about how Roccat with the bottom lane here can push Vitality on the turret and then use the siege of Kate Morgana. Oh, Gillies is not back.
Push into the team now, suppressed, locked up. The Chain CC coming in. Do they have the damage? It looks like it. Pulling it off here.
That was a clean combo. Blanc knocking him back into binding, plus Skana ulti into a trap from a Caitlyn. There was no way out for Gillies the moment he got caught by that Azir ulti. Great combo.
I mean, to be fair, we talk about this as a team fighting composition, but anytime there's a Morgana on your team and you've got a playmaker like Blanc in the mid lane, it can also be a pick comp. Deficio, you can just look to take those individual members out.
It's the same kind of setup there with the Chain CC. We see top lane Jizuke snuck his way up here.
Set it up, Prophet not going to back up, has to avoid the stun field, is going to get locked up anyways. He-Drive Resonance comes in, out goes the Hex Tech ultimate. Looks like they may be able to take him down here, reset the tower aggro, donate the kill to Cabo, cost them the dragon, but they get one back.
Oh, Blanc is up to try and do something. It's still 2v1.
Neither of them have any ult. They're both going to back off, not looking to extend the trade. Blanc, interestingly enough, bone plating in this matchup. Knows that Echo has the trade cadence where he has to go in, try to get the 3 procs. Bone plating reducing that.
All right, nice start to this game here. Aggressive plays on the bottom side from Roccat, but we have the Kate Morgana working again, just like yesterday where Fnatic did it. This is their play where the moment Gillies get hit by any CC, Blanc knocks him back into then binding, plus ult from Memento into a Caitlyn, and yeah, you are basically dead, and you can't flash away from that one.
Yeah.
Always got to zoom in on Noscaron's face.
Yeah. He's got good reactions, man. That is a top-tier pro player skill.
I like that Jizuke, though, instantly is like, okay, you make a play bot side, swap top lane. Go and kill Prophet. He can't get out. Get a kill over for Caposhot, because with the 1-3-1 comp, Vitality, they need this Echo and they need this Camille to be strong in side lanes.
While Cabo holds, we check in again on the bottom lane because the 2-0-1 AD carry is a terrifying thing to play against. Deficio, one of the biggest things we always talk about when it comes to Vitality, obviously Jizuke comes up first, but second is mini Trupax. And I'm kind of trying to figure out what the ideal role is for him on this team, because when he plays Varus and Ashe, he's got great initiation. And when he plays hyper carries, he does good damage. But which one is actually better for Vitality?
I think so far, whenever they've been able to rely on Jizuke getting ahead, then the Ashe Varus style, where it's all about like being engaged from Intrubex, has been very successful, as you guys can see in the 3-0, but he's had good carry performances as well. There have been some good late games from a Caitlyn, and we had the Jinx yesterday.
Yeah, winning a lane that a lot of people would have said is Ezreal favored, even.
I think just we're seeing Intrubex is he's able to play both styles, but he's still not the main carry on Vitality. It's still about the mid lane.
And unfortunately, due to the gold advantage Roccat have built, due to the proficiency on this Morgana from Northscaron, it does mean that Vitality are going to be put in a gold deficit. 2K, 11 minutes into the game.
Morgana Caitlyn, go play it in solo queue, free win. Trust me, if you do a queue at least with an AD carrier support, such an effective 2v2 lane to play, but should not be this effective in this game. It all starts with level 1, where Jack Troll does everything wrong, so he ends up dying and losing Flash. He then gets ganked level 2 by Memento, of course, because he lost his Flash. And then we had that play around blue buff, which was a very good setup from Roccat. So it's been heavily in Noscaron and Hiku's favor, but man, Jack Troll and Vitality have not done themselves any favors against this Morgana.
It's not been great. Now, Prophet is here on the top side. 5 members strong from Roccat are ready to commit. They're going to use the Blast Cone together.
They're all pinging it from Vitality, though.
Will be spotted. Unfortunately, there's no wave pressure anywhere else on the map right now for Vitality, so they don't really have a good counterplay here.
That's why I like Roccat just instantly swap top with Kate and Morgana here. Don't just keep them bot lane and give Vitality time to farm. Swap top, put more pressure on the turret. Every time you stock there, wave clearing, as many Trueback to Jack Troll, one binding into a trap, and you're back in base. That's it. So I really like that. Ooh, Jizuke did not get to interrupt him. Ooh, Skana's up here. Memento is here. Prophet TP is available. Oh, that's a trap into a binding.
Chain CC, gonna use what they can from the Morgana to heal up, rather than Janna. Pulls back, Aerie provides a little bit of an extra shield, will be able to back away.
I would like to see Vitality just go bot and kill Prophet again. They know they're losing topside, they can't really help there. They have to just kill Prophet, get a turret, so they get some gold. Alright, Prophet is smart, he just backs away.
And of course, in the meantime, Vitality have gotten Rift Herald, so they may be able to match the pressure here. Very difficult, though, the attack speed steroid for Skarner. Caitlyn, notorious for taking down towers in the early game. Jizuke, though, sees this opportunity. He can look for the 1v1. He's going to get pushed in. Stun not going to connect. We'll get the shield anyway. Now he's going to get knocked back. Has the ultimate. Leaps forward. Still wants to keep it going on the phase dive. Sand Soldiers are coming in. Hitting him one at a time. 2 stacks. Looks like he might not be able to get it. Blanc is on the hunt. Flash out. Flash forward. Dash. Oh, the back and forth. Both players playing on the edge of insanity.
Good play from Blanc here. And Jizuke realized that the entire Roccat team, they were on their way from top lane down to mid. So he couldn't chase at all. Had to just flash out and try and escape here. Did stay alive, but they lost the top lane turret. Might look for Jack Troll.
Have to be careful. Many true packs, be careful as well. The flash forward, pull him back. The binding even connects. Another one for Roccat.
Vitality's bottom lane, staying around, recalling. Then, nah, let's not recall here. Then walk out. But Black Shield onto a Skarner. Janna is not going to peel that. That flash,
nobody's gonna peel that, man.
That flash ult, man, that's gonna happen again and again from Memento.
The one thing you can hope for against a Skarner is that you can just CC him. But you give him a Black Shield, Deficio, and this character seems unstoppable. Better yet, Roccat, I feel like they knew this was coming. They banned the Tahm-Kench. They say, no, Jack Troll, you don't get to deny this. We're gonna make sure this happens every time.
Every single time. Good start from this Roccat bot lane. Revenge from yesterday when it got destroyed by Fnatic.
And I mean, we look back at this replay, and you can just see how effective this composition is, how good this is when they have the setup.
You're not getting out.
Oh, God.
Jack Troll even flashed because he knew the flash ult what happened. So not only did he flash, he then also lost his AD carry at the same time.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why they think this bot lane is powerful, it's because they got destroyed by it yesterday. And now we see them wreaking the same havoc. You already talked about it. HeQ got obliterated yesterday, but now he's putting the same pain onto mini true packs, Deficio.
I like it, man. It's good to see. Doesn't matter if I consider it risky or not. As long as it keeps working like this, man, keep doing it.
That's the thing.
Keep picking it.
Put it to the individual strengths. We talk about Northscaran being a playmaker, a shot caller for this team. Hey, give him a champion he can do it on. Now, though, Vitality's still struggling to come back in terms of gold. Deficit only 2K. Are going to be forced to
It's all about killing Prophet again, though, because you can keep snowballing Camille. Like, she is strong at the moment. Caboshot, he needs to become one of the main carries for Vitality in this game because he needs to win that side lane for this 1-3-1 to actually work. Otherwise, Vitality are forced to just teamfight and win that way, but that's where Rockat's comp is going to be stronger. We talked about this with the Fnatic game yesterday. The Kate Morgana, ooh, around Baron, I love it, man. The traps being set up in choke points, the bindings flying over walls where you can't see Morgana because she's standing on a control ward. Like, it's so hard to stop.
It's literally, and especially if you don't have vision, it's chaos.
Exactly.
You're convinced every bush has a Morgana. Anywhere you go, you're going to get bound, trapped, immediately going to die.
And you have 5 players then discussing who goes in first. Come on, guys. Like,
somebody please go tank the binding.
Just someone walk in, get binded, and then we will try and help you. But most of the time you can't. That guy just dies instantly. Or he gets hooked by Skarner and pulled back. So Roccat here, because this bot lane was so successful and because Memento is on fire, looking good.
This is the ult. Now Gilius, he grabs the dragon. Of course, Cabo on the bottom side is looking for the 1v1 play. Not going to find it. Just trying to buy a bit of time, trying to stop him from taking the tier 2 tower.
Oh, let's see what happens here. Gilius is on his way. Prophet is chasing it.
Stun still manages to connect. Cabo could now be in trouble. Does use the Hex Tech ultimatum. A lot of damage is going to start to come through. Looking for the second hit on the Precision Protocol. Gets the true damage down. Fatty Burst comes in. Brings it home.
Wait. Noscaran plus Memento.
Cabo, he needs another hook shot to make it out of this one. I don't think he's going to get it. Pull him in. Take him out. They've ignited Gilius as well. Northscaran just going to walk this one down. Soul Shackles to bring it in. Memento grabs Cabo. He's looking to make it a double. Now Gilius running for his life, but they're just hunting him down. Looks like pig for dinner. Does manage
he
to
can dodge
sidestep, smite him down in the end. Ooh, Gilius dying to smite. It's a little poetic, Deficio.
Meanwhile, top. No, he's fine. He walks away.
And this is. I love seeing this from Roccat, because if you told me that Vitality were going to try to 1v1 in every single lane or 2v2, I'd believe you. You told me Roccat were going to do it, wouldn't expect it, but here they are fighting back, Deficio.
Prophet knowing that his team, they were on the way from mid. Ooh, nice stun there. Of course, while Gilius shows up so early, yeah, they can kill him, but they get 2 kills in return, and they don't lose anything, so that's important. And this Vitality draft of trying to counterpick as many lanes as possible, because bot lane lost so hard, it's not been working for them.
Now, as grim as this is, and as much as Roccat are being incredibly successful with their composition, Deficio, we talked about how crucial it was for Caboshot to get ahead. Now, despite the fact that he died, he gave gold to Memento. He did not give gold over to Prophet. So he is still ahead in terms of the 1v1. But unfortunately, I feel like Roccat just aren't going to give him the chance to stay in that side lane and look for those single fights.
Also have to remember that Roccat, they really need to win this game here to continue that path towards playoffs, because we have seen already earlier today Giants win, so they're 1 win ahead of Roccat at the moment. HK then lost, so Roccat, of course, can actually sneak their way towards that top 6. It's not going to be guaranteed just yet, just by winning here. And meanwhile, Vitality, if they lose, that's a very crucial step. They're losing towards that second place.
Yeah, we have to remember, fighting for second, fighting for a bye. 1 less best of 5 you have to play. Guaranteed placement in Copenhagen. Very big deal to get that second place in the regular season.
All right, let's see what happens bot side. Roccat, once again, they know that the one winning lane for Vitality is the Camille lane. So they keep moving down whenever they take mid control. And because this Caitlyn is so fed, HeQ just controls the mid lane. Trupax is not allowed to do anything. He's scared every time because there's a Predator Skarner that can literally just rush out of a brush and get him.
Yeah, the escapeless mini Trupax is a black shield too, so if he ever sees Morgana, he is done. But maybe this is a chance. Blanc, is he going to get picked off? Tries to flash away. Jizuki now on the hunt, gets the phase dive forward. Black Shield does buy a little bit of time. He could be in trouble, locked in for almost an eternity, but manages to make it out the phase dive. Now it's mini Trupax.
Hey, that's the Skarner.
He got baited. He thought he was safe. Vitality thought they were safe, but that is 2 kills in the favor of Roccat.
Oh, they're pinging towards the Baron, but the rest of Vitality are pushing mid lane here, and Roccat will start it. 3 members alive from Vitality to try and stop it, but it's going down pretty fast.
All right, Gilius, this is the chance for redemption. Can you take it away?
Remember, Memento stole 2 Barons from
they
Gilius
killed
last time.
another one. Heq manages to take down Jack Troll. Kaba wants to grab a kill back. They're starting to pull off the Baron. Gilius now needs to run for his life, though. It's getting lower. 2K dropping. Gilius doesn't look like he's going to go in for the smite in the end. Vitality backing off. Roccat securing Baron.
Good game so far from Roccat. Gilius is looking to see if he can stop some recalls. That is a no. And Vitality's 1-3-1 comp never got ahead in this game. The bot lane got destroyed, and now Mini Truebax, he can't do anything. This is a replay of them trying to chase blank with everything they got, but we have to remember, Roccat are winning mid, so they can always roam first, and that's why they're here, defending their mid lane. And look at Mini Truebax, he's like, guys, I'm coming, and Memento's like, yeah, I'm Skarner, you're an AD carry, you're dead. Every single time.
It's absolutely brutal to watch Deficio. And here's what we heard Gilius talk about. He said, hey, we shut down the jungle communication. We shut down the bot lane. Things fall apart.
They didn't shut down any of those.
They shut down anything. North Scaren's like, I'm popping off, baby. Look at those hands.
They got stumped in both roles. Mini Truebax and Jack Troll will take the blame for this one early game. Losing that hard against this Kate Morgana based on the level 1, where Jack Troll lost everything. Of course, Memento then with the great ganks. But those are the two things. Jungle matchup in favor of Roccat now. Bot lane matchup so heavily in favor of Roccat in this game.
And Deficio, there's so many times in this meta where you see a team, hey, they've got scaling, they've got answers for the late game. Maybe they can stall it, maybe they can wait. Vitality, we're all in on the 1-3-1, man. This is not a composition that comes back well. Where is the wave clear? How do you stop Baron from just free hitting on your towers?
Yeah, that's always the negative in 1-3-1 comps, because you obviously never plan on getting to this point in the game where you're this far down. You were supposed with your, counterpick Echo in the mid lane, counterpick Janna in the bottom lane, Camille top, like, you were supposed to have really good lanes that could, of course, get ahead in this game against Roccat. That didn't happen.
I mean, the story right now for Vitality, if at first you don't succeed, try again, as the focus continues to be on shutting down Profit, but the rest of the members of Roccat ping mid. Just look for a little bit more. Cabo is going to immediately use the Hextech ultimatum. Stop Profit from making his way out there. Followed up by the Varus ulti. Immediately taken down. Trueback's taking down Profit. All 5 members of Vitality committing. Roccat are now on the way, but they don't have the man advantage.
Probably bought like 30 seconds for Vitality, where Roccat cannot use the Baron buff. There are no dematerializers on one side, but there's no banner on the other side.
And it does feel like a little bit of hesitation from Roccat. Not sure
they
where
lost the top laner now, so can't really push a whole lot.
Yeah, but I mean, before that, did just opt to back and reset and immediately losing the member. A little late on the rotation bottom.
And now Vitality needs to be creative, like the pick we just saw here. Hide in the brushes, show up in lanes where Roccat will not expect you to be, because your assassin kind of pick comp in a pure 5-on-5 should not be able to win. So they have to do crazy things like the one we see, and they have to do it multiple times. Scaling is fine for Roccat. They're not in a super hurry to finish this game. As long as they stay 5-man together, they win this game.
And it's terrifying too, because Double Cloud Drake now backs up Roccat on top of a 6K gold lead. So that's Skarner only getting faster, baby. Only going to get easier for him to get into the backline. And you can see Roccat know, just as you mentioned, if they stay together, they're just about unstoppable.
Just hold hands.
Now the carry duo, the solo laner, is actually moving to the bottom side of the map. But I don't know what they're expecting to get here. They are going to be giving up the inhibitor tower. Probably giving up the inhibitor as well, as they both just started the recall timers.
Oh, they're trying to flank now.
Maybe looking for it. Trying to wait for the black shield. Trying to bait it out. North Scaren still, though. Good patience. Not going to use it yet.
Jizuka is not here yet. He stopped his recall bot lane. So that was just a wasted TP from Cabo Shot.
Buys a bit of time for Jizuka to free it before they back off, but really not worth it. 2 inhibitors down. Not a death sentence quite yet, but incredibly difficult. Only a 2K Baron power play, as the remaining members of Vitality do still feel confident enough to push out of the base.
And after Vitality, they bounced back from that losing streak. They've actually played some pretty good games the last 2 weeks, and they look like one of the teams who would now, of course, fight for that second place. They're still fighting for it, but then losing to a Roccat team was at some pretty rough games. That's a big blow to Vitality, and they got their classic counterpick draft, or at least what they consider a lot of counterpicks, on their side.
And
Nothing beats Blind Morgana, though.
Look,
There we go.
Whenever we talk about Roccat, we always talk about Norskeren. He's been really good on the Braum. He's been a pretty hype player in terms of reactions on camera, right? But this is the first time I feel like we've seen him set up for individual playmaking in a lot of ways, and it looks really good.
Yeah, of course. Well, we can talk a lot about him. For me, still the MVP is Memento in this game on the Skarner here. Great setups and always playing around the correct lane. Hint, hint, the Morgana Kate lane.
And it feels like he was always where he needed to be. And the second that they got that lead, they were snowballing so cleanly. They're like, we're going to get this tower next, we're going to get this next, we're going to get this next, picking every member they could see.
And you know VIT right now backstage, he's so happy. He's so smug as well.
Place, this is why.
He predicted him to beat Vitality today as the only one, and they're doing it at the moment.
Caster Curse, not too real. Little real.
Well, yeah, because everyone else picked
Yeah, I guess you're right. Caster Curse. VIT reaping the benefits. But is there a way, if they find the perfect flank, that they can actually take down Roccat?
If they can stun one of the two carries and burst them down, but it should not be possible. There's Cleanse on Blank, there's Black Shield coming in from Norskeren. Hikyu and Blank should be able to be safe in these fights and able to deal too much damage back against a lot of squishy members on Vitality. The Janna here was not picked to be super good in these fights because there's a Black Shield on our side to block everything that can happen against the Skarner. It was picked for laning phase.
And look at the traps. There's even one hiding behind the turret. Isometric perspective, baby. Can't even see it. Combo smart enough to back it off, but it looks like it could get taken down. Instead, they're going to immediately leap on a Memento. Now trying to back off as the ultis do manage to connect. Does manage to get in the middle of everything. Hextech ultimatum has been used, but they're getting picked off. Still, the carries are untouched. Norskeren gonna grab one for himself as Roccat start to clean up. Vitality, a desperate stand.
Oh,
home with the binding on the double. Bloodthirsty supports, baby. Bringing it back.
Vitality trying to get back in the game, but as long as Roccat stay together, they will win every single fight. They're so far ahead. Such an important game for Roccat, still in the race for playoffs.
Norskeren and Memento and Norskeren, the jungle support duo, man. I feel like we're back in Season 4. Look at them go. Making plays across the map. Roccat slowly but surely closing out the game. Vitality maybe looking for a last stand here, but things are grim. Gilius does leap forward. Memento is oh so low, but it just might not be enough. Norskeren fearless on the front line. May have to give the respect over to Cabo Shard, but realistically, 3 inhibitors down, no structures remaining.
No one can dodge the max range bindings, man. They're always gonna hit.
Deficio, we are, maybe this is it. Jizuke does manage to leap into the team. Can he find it? Does leap right back out. Cabo Shard manages to grab one.
Jizuke's back in base, because
he ulted too soon.
Yeah, he didn't have enough time out there.
Now he's defending the Nexus.
They gotta kill. They gotta kill. They lost 3 inhibs and 2 Nexus turrets, but they gotta kill. That's important. All right, let's see the fight.
The bindings, I think. Bindings, keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, initial engage is going to be on Memento. Gillis is mad. He just wants to hit someone at this point. And all the other carries are just killing the turret while this is happening. Ooh, Vitality actually rushing Baron because they killed the enemy jungler. Meanwhile, this is a fight from before. You see how all the carries untouched in this fight from Roccat. Can't get to them, and then when Jizuke thinks, okay, there's a chance. Oh, let's go in line.
Oh, Vitality looking for the desperate stand. Can they get the Baron? Will be taken away from them in the end. Looking for it. Blanc manages to get one. It's Gilius alone in the pit. Can he get the smite down? Does manage to get in the end. Cabo now looking for Norskeren, looking for a bit of revenge, but Hikyu is there, baby. Binding doesn't even need to hit. Taken down Roccat.
And the base is open. Go get it, Roccat. It's yours. Pre-30-minute win against Vitality. That is so big.
Absolutely massive. Beautiful performance from Roccat. This win means so much. Tying up for 5th place in the absolute brutal melee that is the EU LCS right now. Every win matters. Vitality never giving up here. Still getting pulled back into the middle of everything. But bye-bye, Jizuke. No chance to go back in time. Gilius, yet another lamb to the slaughter as Blanc finds the double. A beautiful, beautiful win comes in from Roccat. 29 minutes. They're going to end the game.
And everything started level 1. Roccat invades, get the flash away from the Janna, kill the Janna, then level 2 ganks bot lane against the no flash support, kill her again, and giving a big advantage to Hikyu and Norskeren. Then they keep playing around that lane for the entire early game. It wasn't about Profit, it wasn't about Blank, it was just play around the Morgana and the Caitlyn lane. crucial because Vitality's draft was built around, you know, getting the Janna pick against the Morgana, getting that Echo pick in the mid lane for Jizuke against the Azir. But those two lanes, they never got ahead. And that just slowed down everything.
And just a beautiful masterclass from Memento on how to play the jungle. Burn the summoners, go back to that lane, force the kills, use your playmaking supports, use the lanes to have CC to set you up for success, snowball the rest of the map.
And another game where the Kate Morgana lane takes over.
It's our own version of Ezreal in Korea.
Too few bot lanes in Europe can deal with it, based on the games we've seen so far.
I mean, it's just
Big
so,
general
it's
statement
so,
of
I mean,
two
it's
games.
so punishing, though, right? And like that's the thing is, you're right that
Betty's
it's high
right
risk.
over there. He's laughing, thumbs up and everything, just because he predicted Roccat to win. And he even misclicked, I guarantee you.
I mean, they earned it. I don't really care what Betty did because Roccat, it was so impressive, Deficio. And this is, I mean, we sat on PGL last night with Broxa, and we were like, who do you actually pick for 6th place? And it was hard. It was a hard, like, it's so hard to
I
make
think
a
we mentioned
compelling
almost
argument.
every team, so that at least we're kind of safe, because, maybe this team. What about that team?
Yeah, but it was hard to lock one down. And when, you know, Roccat come in and put up a performance like this, if they make this consistent, that is a clear-cut case for a playoffs.
But that's the case for all those teams. If they could make it consistent. But so far in the split, they've shown they can't. They will have a game like this one where we'll be like, wow, that was perfect. Everything looks super good. And then there's a game like yesterday where you fall behind in the early game and the entire team falls apart. So that's why it's so hard to always predict these different things. But I like the fact that Roccat saw a bot lane that worked against them, picked it themselves, so we don't care about your Janna pick, and then they play around it.
And the best part is if we, like, we don't know if they practice this in scrims, right? But they probably just came in and Northscaren's like, I think I can play Morgana. And the team was like, okay, go for it.
Most
like that kind
people
of
can.
faith in your teammates is good to see.
I mean, Rocket's pick a man face shut down a 1-3-1 comp because they destroyed them in the bottom lane and in the jungle.
Destroyed.
The one thing Gilius said could not happen when they played against Roccat was...
Gilius did smite, though. He got that.
He got it. There was no jungler.
A little bit of redemption. All right, well, remember that during the day, you can send your questions for myself, Deficio, and Vedius to answer in the EULCS post-game lobby using the hashtag #PingTheLobby. As a sample question, hashtag #PingTheLobby. Vedius, are you a prophet? That's my question.
Because he predicted...
4th place Roccat, yeah.
But they're not 4th place yet.
They're not yet, but did you see the game? Deficio, you were there.
I did.
We praised it. All right, well, for more on Rockat's win, let's send it over to Pyra and hear from their support.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. I'm joined by Northscaren, and you guys got off to one hell of a flying start. At what point in the game did you know you'd had that locked up in the bag?
Well, yesterday we played against Fnatic, and they did the same strat as us, played Caitlyn Morgana, and they did the same level 1. And so we learned from them, did the same thing, and Jack Troll failed, flashed, and we got a free kill. So I don't know, I felt really confident from the start. Like, just hitting your first binding feels really good. So, yeah.
And then you pretty much hit every binding after that, so you give Hillsang a run for his money.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this Morg a little bit. Why do you think it's starting to become so popular amongst you guys here in Europe?
Personally, this is my first time playing Morgana like in scrim. I never played it before in scrims, but yeah, yesterday it was really good, and we played against it before. So we just thought, like, why not pick it? It was so strong. So yeah, it's just really good. I've seen people play it in the Nate too before, like Clutch Gaming, Hakuho is really good. Like I looked at his VODs, man, he's a really good Morgana. So yeah.
Cool, glad to see you expanding that champion pool. And another thing I want to talk about for Roccat is the fact that you guys now are up there in that 5th place tie, joining Giants, joining Misfits. With the playoff race so tight right now, who do you think is really going to come out at the end, assuming yourself also qualifies?
It's really hard to say. Like this year's EULCS is really close. I honestly have no idea, but I hope Misfits make it, but I don't think Giants will. So it's just all I can say. I think Misfits will make it for sure.
Right.
And yeah.
We'll see how it unfolds. Now, I got one last question for you. Northscaren, you are very infamous in fact, for some of your reactions right now.
Yeah?
So I just got to ask you, can I get a dab for the camera?
Unfortunately, no, we say that for when you win worlds.
All right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to hold you to that, and I think the fans are going to too. Well, I got denied, but you know who's not going to deny you is, of course, Medic, who's going to be checking in and updating you on the standings, so take it away.
Thank you very much, Pyro. I am here for Medic's checkup. We're going to have a look at the playoff standings, who's locked, who's not, and who is still in contention. We'll start off with the top of the table. If you look at Fnatic and Splyce, they have locked their spots in playoffs. Splyce with the win today. Unfortunately, Vitality with that loss are still not locked. Although they couldn't fall below 6th place, they could lose out due to tiebreakers. So we'll have to see if there's some spicy action as we come to the end of the split. Second up, Giants Gaming beating Misfits. What a game it was, and how important it is for Giants as well. You can see here they're actually above Misfits Gaming because they have the head-to-head in that matchup. It means if it came down to a tie between the two, Giants would win out, and Misfits are now in a position they're actually fighting for playoffs. They're locked out from getting 2nd spot, but the most important thing is that they are looking down at the bottom of the table and thinking, who is going to catch us? Roccat now on 7-9 as well after that win over Vitality. Next 2 games we have coming up, it's Fnatic versus Unicorns, and if Fnatic win, they secure #1 spot and a bye going into the playoffs. It means we'll definitely see them in Copenhagen and perhaps even in that final. The second game is going to be G2 playing up against Schalke 04. And G2 will be looking to secure their spot in playoffs as well. If they win today, they are definitely through to that top 6, and Schalke need to keep winning to keep their playoff hopes alive. That's where things stand at the moment. Still a lot to play for here. We'll keep checking in across the course of the next few days. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back after these messages.
From that? Hello. You think we can make an album from that one?
Definitely. With mic check.
Jack Trolls is not how he wants to start the game. Gets the tornado in, wants to make it out. I don't think he can.